All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the weekly eCom planning session. Oh my gosh. My passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business. And so, if you need some support with that, I'm here for you. I will tell you, I feel like today should be the challenges of being an entrepreneur. That's what today should be because of the fact that this has been one crazy, crazy week and crazy morning. Um, so I got up at 7 before we get into this. So here's the deal. We're going to get into a couple of things. One, I am going to talk about the weekly ecom planning session. So if you don't have a notebook and pen, go grab one. I do want to encourage you to do that. We are live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. Number two, we're going to talk about some of my favorite online arbitrage stores. Now, this is not all of them. This is only a handful based on the niches in which I am in. So, as you continue on this journey, you will find your favorite stores based on the niches that you're in. But in any case, it's just a short story for just a second. So, I got up at 7 to get ready for my day because it's a very busy day. As a vice president of a nonprofit, we have an event today. So this has been a crazy week because of all of the work that's involved in that. And we have a passion for what we do. But in any case, my morning started off crazy because my oldest son has been sick for the last couple of days. I've been trying to break his fever. My youngest son, without using like ibuprofen and Tylenol immediately. And then, my youngest son, who's autistic, like just trying to keep him from burning stuff in the house, cooking on his own. It's just a challenge. And then I had to meet with a couple of my VAs on urgent matters. First thing when I wake up, I got messages in the queue from my VAs that are in India on some urgent stuff. So, just juggling this entrepreneur hat again, I should just do a segment on the challenges of being an entrepreneur because there are some challenges to being an entrepreneur. And, it's all about the recovery. So we are literally 3.5 hours behind where we're supposed to be right now. This broadcast should have happened 3.5 hours ago. But because of the insanity of this morning, that's okay. And the chaos hammer showed up. We're going to move on because that's what we do. We persevere in the midst of it all. We move forward. So today's topic again is about my favorite online arbitrage stores. And we're going to also do the weekly ecom planning session right after this. So if you don't have a notebook and pen, go grab that. Again, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them get organized, focused, and consistent in their business. And so consistency means doing it in the midst of whatever else happens, getting your train back on the tracks so you can keep going and moving forward in your day. So I hope that if that's you, just know that you're not the only person that sometimes has those days where nothing is in your control, and it's okay. All right. So before we get into the weekly ecom planning session and before we talk about my favorite stores, I want you to go into the e-commerce planning Facebook group, click on the files section and download the daily, weekly, and monthly ecom planning session. Tomorrow we are going to do the monthly ecom planning session. I promise I will not look at messages from my VAs before I log on to do that. Otherwise, we might just get the train off the tracks again. And the weekly ecom planning checklist is over there as well. So you can go download that so we can go through it because that's what we're going to do here in about another 5 minutes. So today's topic is my favorite online arbitrage stores. Now, there's a lot of online arbitrage stores that I like. There's a lot that I use. And so narrowing it down from like a good 70 that I use down to 10 was kind of hard for me. But I needed to just to talk about it from my perspective. Your list of stores may be different than mine because your niches may be different than mine. So I'm going to use the example of I do bundles. I create bundles. That's my passion. And so I love going to different stores where I can get small pieces at a discount, a decent price and put together an amazing bundle and then sell that. And so some of the stores that are on my top 10 arbitrage list are, of course, only because of the fact that I either do multi-packs from them or I create bundles from them. Okay, because I love doing bundles. But here's my list. So whatever your niche is, whatever your specialty is, whatever it is that you like to do or create your own list of online arbitrage stores that work for you based on what you do. So my first favorite store is Walmart, number one. They always have stuff that I can find now. I have to filter from other sellers and Walmart selling it because other sellers, of course, they're going to want to make a profit, so their price is probably going to be higher than what I'm willing to pay. But Walmart still has a lot of great stuff that you can buy. And the other great thing is that this time of the year, you can buy online. You can use your Walmart app. I have a Walmart app, and you can go and pick it up. So if you're doing online arbitrage, again, it's another quick and easy way to do this business and be able to use the app to place your order and go pick it up. Next is the Dollar Tree. I mean, so number two, number three, number four are all, and number five, they are all because I do bundles. I create bundles. So the Dollar Tree is number two, Party City is number three, Oriental Trading is number four, and Five Below is number five. When I create bundles, I normally create themed bundles. And my bundles are always, I mean, the ones that I do a lot of different bundles. I don't just do one kind. But the bundles that I create are most of them are seasonal, and they are mostly for children or sometimes adults. Just depends on what it is that I'm putting together. So I do a lot of seasonal themed bundles, and I do a lot of bundles that are for children. So those stores kind of give me all the little trinkets and trash, I refer to it as that I can put together to make some amazing bundles and list them online. So there are other stores that I use. Like I said, there's about 70 stores that I use, but this is my list of stores that I like based on my niche that I do. Now, I do sell other things. I sell a lot of stuff, and I do have my own private label products. So again, I am I won't say a jack of all trades, but there's a couple of different things that I do in my e-commerce business. All right, number 6 is Kohl's. Kohl's, there's a lot of stuff that's been going on with Kohl's. So I still like Kohl's because I still have Kohl's Bucks. So every time I get Kohl's Bucks, I use them immediately because Kohl's is trying to be bought out. So at some point, those Kohl's Bucks may go away. For those that have been doing it since Toys R Us, the old Toys R Us, not this new one that they're trying to pull together, the old original Toys R Us, like you used to get all these points and credits. And so I will never forget when Toys R Us was going out of business and all of my stuff that I had built up, they said, it is no longer valid. It is no longer useful. And I had a lot of money built up in there. Okay. Let me just say that. So I was not very happy about that. So Kohl's, I still like Kohl's. They do have some great stuff in their clearance. You can always find some great deals over there. So I like them for online arbitrage. 7 is Sam's Club, and 10 is Costco. So I do like the big box stores. I can do a lot at the big box stores and make a lot of money, do a lot of great flips, and also do a lot of replenishables and consumables with those two stores. So I do like them for online arbitrage. And then we have Michael's, number 8, which is a craft store. And they always have some kind of deal going on. They have a lot of great online deals. And then Bye Bye Baby. And that's another one. So I typically will pull pieces from those two stores to probably put them into bundles that I already have from the others that I combine. I try to make sure that I'm pulling my bundles products from different places so it's not just one place. So that is my list of top 10 arbitrage stores for me. Now, like I said before, your niche may be different than my niche, and what you do may be different from what you source. If you're doing a variety of different things, your list of online stores is that you like, your favorites, top 10, because it was hard for me to narrow it down because I really do use about 70 stores, but I had to narrow it down to the 10 that I use the most frequently. And these are probably the 10 that I use most frequently. It may have been a couple that I missed, but for the most part, these are probably the ones that I use most frequently. So as we continue down this series of talking about sourcing, we're going to continue to talk about sourcing. I believe the next thing that we're going to be talking about is sourcing for Amazon, and we'll get into eBay, Etsy. We'll talk about Shopify. So we'll talk about sourcing from many different perspectives. So hopefully you'll tune in for the next one. Share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about the daily e-com planning sessions and the weekly e-com planning sessions so that you have the opportunity to, grab that, get this information and use it to help you in your business. So with that being said, I do want to invite you to come out to our Dallas-Fort Worth live event that's happening next week, the 2nd and the 3rd. It is our Black Friday Arbitrage Blitz event. And so we're going to be helping you put together some strategies to help you on your journey for arbitrage. As I've said before many times, that is what I use to really get started or get highly motivated in this e-commerce game. Once I figured out that I could use Q4 to make a bunch of money to help me next year, that changed everything for me. It changed everything for my kids because I'm a single mom with two special needs kids. And so we had to pay for therapies and medical deductibles, and we had to pay for medical premiums and pay for summer programs. And so I always use Q4 to pay for things next year. And I would take all that money to do that. So if you want to see how I do that, and I'm not the only seller that jumps into the game just for Q4, and I still sell throughout the year, but I'm saying at that time, like there are sellers that just jump into the game for Q4. If you want to know more about that, you can go to ecomsellersmastery.com/live 2022. Again, ecomsellersmastery.com/live 2022 to check it out. Go see what this event is going to be about and come and learn with us. Sign up, come learn. Next, I do want to invite you to turn up the dial on your business for next year before you know it, because we're only 8 Fridays now from Christmas. So we're 8 Fridays from Christmas. This is the last couple of days of October. We're going into November and December. So November, December are going to be a complete blur. It will be a complete blur because there's so many things going on. So you want to start preparing yourself for massive success in 2023. Go grab the My eCom Planner. It was created for sellers by sellers. You can grab it at myecomplanner.com. Again, myecomplanner.com to grab the My eCom Planner. It is the ultimate e-commerce planner, and it will help you to get focused and organized for 2023. And then if you need a free coaching session, you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on free resources, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. Again, go to ecomsellers.com. And last but not least, I invite you to join eCom Sellers Academy. It's terribly affordable. It's $17.99 a month. You get a lot of great perks. If you go to ecomsellersacademy.com, again, ecomsellersacademy.com, you can join and come hang out with us. We'll help you on your e-commerce journey. You get some perks along the way. So with that being said, we are now going to go into the checklist. So if you didn't go download the checklist, I do want to invite you to go download the checklist right now. And as you download the checklist, get a notebook and pen, open up a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet, whatever. We're getting ready to go over the weekly planning checklist because we got to put together our game plan for next week. Next week is the first week of November, not the first full week of November, but it is, Tuesday. So you got the majority of the week is November. So go and download the checklist because we're about to go through that. In addition to that, if you want to talk about where you are in your journey, if you want to get some accountability, some support, if you want to chat about your business, you want to chat about what's happening in your business, the challenges you're running into in your business, then you can join us on Clubhouse. We are live there. And after we go through the checklist, we'll open it up so we can talk about your business. We can talk about what's happening in your business. You can join the eCom Sellers Club. And let's talk about where you are. And it doesn't have to be arbitrage. We can talk about private label, print on demand, drop shipping. We can talk about wholesale. We can talk about whatever method of e-commerce that you're doing, books, thrifting. Trust me, I know them all. I do them all. And I have experience with them all. So let's talk about where you are in your journey and what help you need or what questions you have or what wisdom you want to part on any of the listeners. So with that, let's go through the checklist, shall we? All right. So the weekly ecom planning checklist, I'm just going to make the screen bigger just a little bit. The intention of the weekly ecom planning checklist is to be intentional every single day. Your goal is to take intentional or make intentional decisions, take steps and actions towards your weekly, monthly, quarterly goals. That's ultimately at the end of the day what we're trying to do is to take those action steps towards those goals that you have in your e-commerce business. So it's all about planning for your future success story, planning for what's going to happen in your business, planning for what you plan on doing in your business. So with that, when you download the checklist and you open it up, we're going to take this in 3 different parts. The first part is just doing the brain dump. And then after we do, first we're going to build a template. So part 1 of this is we're going to build a template to use as your guide for the weekly planning. Okay. As we build this template, there's 2 parts to the template. Part 1 is just doing a brain dump. Part 2 is actually organizing that brain dump to actually try to build a tentative schedule for next week. And then part 3 of this is to take that tentative schedule or outline. It's not really a schedule. an outline for next week and now plug in all the actual things that you need to do in those little pockets that you had written down for next week. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to step one of this process. We're going to do a brain dump. Step two, we're going to take that brain dump, we're going to organize it so that we can actually build a template or an outline for the week. Step three is we're going to fill in the details of that outline so that you actually have a schedule for next week. Because again, on this journey, all those incremental improvements that we make in our business that are implemented over time will completely reshape your business. It will. And when we do the monthly planning session and quarterly planning session tomorrow, you'll see that as part of this journey, how all of this ties together, the bigger picture of it all. So as part of building this template, if you don't have a notebook, go grab one. If you don't have access to a notebook, you want to use a Google Sheet or you have Excel, either one of those works. So you can grab your laptop. And if you're going to use Google Sheets, the way you get to Google Sheets is if you have a Gmail account, up in the upper right-hand corner, there are 9 dots. I call it the Rubik's Cube. You click on that, and then you're going to see an option that says Drive. It looks like a triangle with multiple colors, red, yellow, and green, blue, something like that. Click on Drive, and then once you go to Drive from your Google Gmail account, then you go over to the left-hand side of the screen, and you're going to click on the plus. When you click on the plus, Sheets is going to be one of your options. So choose Google Sheets. Once you choose Google Sheets, now you have a blank canvas. It is a spreadsheet that you're just going to do some lists. You're going to create lists. So it's just lots of grids on it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to separate out this grid. This sheet. We're going to create 2 sheets. Sheet 1. So if you go down to the bottom on the left-hand side is we're going to rename that. So you can left click on it and click rename, or right click on it and click rename. And we're just going to call this our brain dump sheet. Sheet 2 is going to be, so you're going to click on the plus, the small little plus on the left-hand side, and you're going to create a sheet 2. Sheet 2 is where we're going to organize or do the template for this brain dump. So you're going to have 2 sheets. If you're using a notebook, you're going to probably need about 4 pages inside of a notebook, page 1, and also on sheet 1. We're going to put down the things we already do in our life. The goal is to build a schedule that works with our life and works with routines that we already have established or activities that we already have established in our life. At the end of the day, we're not trying to create or invite new chaos and stress. And so anytime you're trying to implement something new, your subconscious mind works all day long trying to fight you and do the opposite, because it's got a rhythm and it's got its own routine that it likes, and so it wants to fight you on this routine that this new one you're trying to build. So if there are some things that are serving you well in your life, the things that you're already doing well and you're doing them regularly, we want to incorporate those things into this amazing schedule that you're about to build, or this template you're about to build. So let's start with that, adding those things to the schedule that you already do. This is stuff like maybe you go work out every single morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So if that's something you already do, then write that down. That is 7 o'clock. You're going to write in your spreadsheet, column A is going to be, the title of that column is going to be things that I already do. Then next to column A, column B is going to be which day you already do them. And then column C is going to be the time in which you already do them, if you already have a routine established. So if going to the gym, which should be serving you well, hopefully, unless you're just going there to socialize and not really work out, that's a different thing. But if you're going to the gym to work out and break a sweat and it's helping improve your health, then we put it on the list. If reading your Bible in the morning is something you already do, we add it to the list. All the things that you already do. And then things about your life, we include that. And then things about your business. So things about your business. If you source every Friday and Saturday, that's something you already do. If you're doing retail arbitrage, then you put that on the list. I source Friday and Saturday. And so you'll put that as column A, B, and C, adding that to the list, going down those columns. Okay, so write everything that you already do in your business. If you already have a routine and a habit of creating new listings Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then write that down, that that's something that you already do, that I create listings at 1 o'clock Monday through Friday. Okay. So, and when I say create listings, be more specific. Like I create 10 listings, because the goal is to improve what you currently do. If you just write down listings, then you can have that listing window. And then at some point we want to say how many listings, so that we can actually try to stretch and grow along this journey. That's the goal at the end of the day, is to stretch and grow. So we do want to actually start tying some numbers or some stats to that, so we can improve our business and help grow our business over time. So your already do list, just write down everything you're already doing. If you're going to Bible study, write it down. If you take the kids to soccer practice, write it down. If you're, going to meet with your girlfriends and you meet with them for lunch every Friday, and that's something that you do and it serves your life well. In other words, you're able to deflate, or that's an opportunity for you to have what would we call that, your therapy session, then go do that. If you need to, if your girlfriends are your sounding board, then go do that. Things that serve you well. And in addition to that, things in your business. So if you're regularly sourcing a specific day of the week, or you're online sourcing a specific day of the week, or you're already doing research, like product research, keyword research, write those things down. Okay, that's the goal, so write those things down. Then the next is the next two columns. So we did A, B, and C. Now we're going to do D, E, and F. So D, E, and F are things that you feel like you need or must do in your business. So if you're running an e-commerce business, there's a couple of things that you should be doing. All sellers, regardless of your e-commerce method, you should be doing these things. Like, you're not selling anything if a listing does not exist. That's hashtag facts. You can say you're an e-commerce seller, but if a listing does not exist anywhere in the universe, you're not a seller. So you need to be making sure that you create listings. That's par for the course. That's part of the journey. So that's one of the things you should be doing. Okay. That's a need to, if you're running a business, that's a need. Okay. So creating listings should be one of those things that's on your list. I need to create listings to keep this business alive. If you're already doing that, you have that under already do, that's fine. But if it's something that you're not doing, or you're not doing consistently, if you're not doing it consistently, then we're going to go put those in not D, E, and F, but G, H, and I. So we're going to put those under column G, H, and I, meaning things that you want or should be doing. I create listings, I just don't do it as consistent as I would like to. Then you're going to put that under G, H, and I. G will be things that you want or should be doing in your business. H will be the day in which you do it, and I would be the time. Now, we're not filling in the day in which you do it and the time that you do it in G, H, and I. We're just not filling in H and I yet. And for D, E, and F, column D, E, and F, these are things that you must or need to do. So if you have allergies and you got to go get allergy shots every single week, like if it's something you already do, fantastic. But if it's something you feel like you need to do, like you don't reconcile your books in your e-commerce business, and that's something you really need to be doing, you don't do it at all, like you've never done it, then you need to put that under need to do. If you don't do any product research and you're trying to grow your e-commerce business and you're flailing in that, and you were trying to figure out why you're not growing, it's probably because you need to be doing some product research. You're not doing it at all. Okay. So product research should be something that's on your list. So the top 5, I think that everyone should be doing. There's some others that you can add or take away based on the type of, or the method of e-commerce that you're doing. Is creating listings is basic. Getting your, that's one. Getting your products to your customers somehow, some form of fulfillment or shipping. That's number 2. Number 3, everyone should be doing some form of product research, even if it's thin, even if it's light, even if it's very little. You should be doing some level of product research, even if you've got a private label product. Like, there's some level of product research that should be happening out there in the universe. And then number 4 is sourcing. Everybody should be doing some level of sourcing in this business. Sourcing from somewhere, wholesale suppliers, drop shipping, whatever, getting the product, retail arbitrage, going to thrift stores, whatever, you're still doing some level of sourcing. You got to get your inventory from somewhere. Okay. Even if you're creating it yourself, like you're doing print on demand, downloadable printables, you're still creating it somewhere. You're creating it on some platform or on your computer, even if it's just that, if you're that talented and not using any software. And then number 5 is customer service. Like, that's part of, for the course, we all should be doing some level of customer service. Now, I will say 5 could also be administrative tasks, because really everybody should be doing that as a seller. But for some people, as they start this journey, they maybe don't have enough going on to be able, they don't have a lot of admin tasks to do, but it still is an activity you should be engaging in. So again, regardless of e-commerce method, there are things that you should be doing. So you're going to fill in the spreadsheet with the things that you already do, things you need or must be doing in your business to be considered an e-commerce seller, or things you must or need to be doing in your life. Maybe there's a few things you need to be doing in your life, and this is an opportunity for you to incorporate this into a schedule so that you can be consistent about it. And then things that you want or should be doing. Again, this is an opportunity to start to grab a hold of the things you're not doing consistently so that you can become consistent. It can become a routine and a habit that works for you. So as you fill in those columns, you're going to fill in column A, B, and C for things you already do. D, and not E and F yet, for things that you need or want to do. G, not H and I yet, for things that you want or should be doing. Okay. And then you're going to incorporate all the other stuff about your life. What are the things that you're doing spiritual? Like if you go to Bible study on Wednesdays, write that down. If you want to start reading the Bible more, write that down. That's something you want or should be doing. If you want to exercise more, write that down. If there's some things financially you want to do better, like maybe you're a person that's into this cryptocurrency, or maybe you're into trading stocks, or maybe you feel like you should be balancing your checkbook every single week, like whatever it is that's not serving you well, that you feel like this will improve my life if I do this thing, write those things down. Okay. So you're going to fill in all those columns. And so if you're struggling with what are the things that I should be doing, your personal life is your personal life, and that's one thing. And so I won't know what you got going on in your personal life to give you any suggestions. But from a business standpoint, here's some ideas. So from sourcing, taking time to think about what's coming up in the next 2 to 20 weeks when it comes to sourcing. Sorry, that's one. Upcoming holidays, events, seasonal. Again, doing that research that goes under product research and or sourcing products, one of the two. It could go under both. Replenishables, like sourcing replenishables, sourcing consumables. Again, if it's something you feel like you should be doing in your business, write it down. Sourcing wholesale, sourcing drop shipping, going out there and checking to see what those opportunities are, establishing some accounts. Again, putting that down on your list. Looking for private label or white label opportunities from a sourcing standpoint. Again, writing that down, putting it on your list. Which one of those columns does it fall under? Research, doing product research, listing research, keyword research. Like, are you doing any of those? And if so, which column does that activity fall under? Or are you not doing any of them and you really just need to fill in that middle column, which is need and must do, because it is a vital part of the business. Listing. So your listings have to get created somehow. Whether you manually do it yourself, you're using software, you hire a VA, your listings have to exist in the universe. It's the only way that people can find your stuff. Even if it's on a website that is not even optimized, like the listing has to exist in the universe, period. So it has to exist on the web somewhere. So creating those listings, are you doing that? Is that something that you're doing regularly, or is it something you want to start doing more regularly? And you fill in which column does this fall under? Shipping, whether it's sending to Amazon FBA or Walmart WFS, or whether you are using a fulfillment center or a 3PL, or whether you're fulfilling yourself, or whether you're checking to confirm that the shipments went out or auditing to make sure that the shipments went out. There's nothing like having like integrations in place and automation in place. And so you're assuming that the shipments are going out every time people buy things. And then like 5 weeks later, you got like 10 refund requests. Yeah. If you are auditing it on a regular basis, then that would be a non-issue. Definitely. Administrative tasks. So running your platform reports, filing taxes, bank reconciliation, balancing your budget, tracking expenses and receipts, order inventory, checking expiration dates, auditing your inventory, creating standard operating procedures, reviewing and adjusting your prices, or either using some software to adjust your prices. This is that time of the year where some of that stuff is happening. If it wasn't consistently happening during the year, this might be that time. Analyzing your data, reviewing your stats. And again, this is not a complete list. This is just a starting and jumping off point. Since we're at the end of the month, some of these activities you're actually about to engage in, or you should be. So if you're not doing that end of the month reconciliation, probably should go on your should or must or need column. You have to decide that. Customer service, handling questions, handling returns, refunds, and reviews. Like, you should be checking that, or at least having a VA do that for you, or some service. You can decide. And then education. What do you need to do better? What do you need to better understand? What knowledge do you need to gain or skill you need to develop? What needs to happen? Any of these. So this is an opportunity I feel like that most people don't take advantage of, which is making sure that they have a set of time that they each week engage in learning something new about their business. Even if you only invest 30 minutes on that focused topic, not a random why topic, just a singular specific focused topic. So maybe your focused topic is learning how to create Facebook ads, and so you spend 30 minutes every single week for a month just focusing 100% on creating a Facebook ad and reviewing the results. Okay, that's all. Gradually over time, that skill and understanding that better, 30 minutes at a time, an hour at a time, whatever works for you based on your life and your schedule, could yield you major results later on when you're ready to run an ad campaign, let's say for like Black Friday. Okay. So learning how to get better at something, figuring out those things that you feel like, I need to get better at this. I need to better understand this. Like maybe you don't even understand your back office reports. That happens. There are people that run this business and they still have not run all the possible reports that are available to them in the back office. And their sales could be so much higher if they took the opportunity to understand what's available to them and then actually look at the reports and look at the data that the platforms are trying to provide you. They don't just create those reports for the sake of creating those reports. They actually serve a purpose. Now, depending on how you're using the platform and what method of e-commerce you're using, they may or may not be beneficial to you, but you'll never know unless you go look at them. So again, blocking off some time or making sure you have some time allotted to learn something new. Deal with marketing and traffic. So, improving your marketing or setting aside some time to do marketing or doing things to help improve traffic to your listings. So running your listings through Ping or Ping Farm, social sharing, or using a blog to market or share your information about your products, doing paid ads, campaigns, email and video marketing, optimizing your listings, using influencers to get more traffic or eyeballs on your listings, running promotions, doing coupons, doing sales, all of those things. And again, this is not a 100% inclusive list. These are things just to jog the memory and to help you to think about it from a different perspective. If you're struggling with what goes in my 3 columns, what do I put in my 3 columns? So this is just giving you ideas. That's the goal, is to give you some ideas, some things to think about that you can populate into those columns. Now, once you have started filling in this brain dump, and you can go through, if you're writing it in a notebook, page 1 could be things that you already do. Page 2 could be things you must or need to do. Page 3 can be things that you should or want to start doing. Maybe you're not doing them as often and you want to start doing them more regularly. Put it on your should and want to do. And then page 4 is going to be this template that we're going to start building out after we kind of review the brain dump. So this is also available inside your My eCom Planner. So if you don't have a My eCom Planner, inside the My eCom Planner, we have pages for this so that you can build out your template and use that to help you build out your week. So you have a weekly planning template inside the My eCom Planner. So if you go through the process, you're going to organize that brain dump by day. So what am I normally doing on Sunday? What am I normally doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for the days in which you actually have populated? Then you're going to have all these holes where you need to plug stuff in. You need to plug in things from your need to do list or from your should do or want to do list. You're going to start plugging those in over time. Figure out how you want to do that. Sometimes having a big giant whiteboard can help you with plugging and playing, figuring out where you want to plug things in. And then once you do that, then you'll be in a better position to help you figure out, okay, this is when I'm doing these things. And then after I figure that out, then what time of day should I be doing them? So that's the next thing. Figure out which day makes sense for each one of these items. And again, it may take you a little bit of time to figure out where you want to plug and play these things. It's maybe a combination of putting together a puzzle and playing Jenga. Like you got to figure out what you want to put where. After you kind of do that, then you're going to figure out Do I want to do these activities, whatever this activity is, because each one of these activities will have its own assignment. So what time do I want to engage in this activity? We figured out the day, this specific activity from my spreadsheet. Do I want to do it in the morning, afternoon, or evening, or do I want to set a dedicated time? For the things that you already do, you probably have a set time. Like if your child's soccer practice is always on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., you can't change that. That's a set time, which means nothing gets reserved or used during that time. You don't schedule, grocery pickup unless, maybe the maybe the field in which they're practicing is close to a grocery store, so you can just order your groceries online and pick them up on the way home. Anyway, my point is you don't schedule things in that window, that if that's dedicated time, if that's committed time to something else, then from a reducing and managing stress standpoint, you don't schedule anything during that window. Okay. So plug in your times and just estimate as a starting point so you can figure that out. Some of the things that you wrote on your list under the 3 different columns will be things that will convert into what's called a mini habit or mini goal. A mini habit or a mini goal is something that you're working to improve for yourself over time. So I'm going to use the example of creating a listing. I'm going to use 2 different examples. One I'm going to use as an example of going for a walk, and the other one is creating listings and how you convert those into mini habits or mini goals. So creating a listing, right now you may be randomly creating listings every other day or every 5th day or whatever. So you're really inconsistent. You're creating listings on every week, but you're not, like, there's not a set time to do that. So in order to be more consistent and to sort of push yourself and stretch yourself, maybe you establish a goal that long-term, bigger picture, I want to make sure that every single day, no matter what, I'm creating 20 listings a day or 10 listings a day or 5 listings a day. All right. So in order to gradually get up to that number, what you may start off with is, I'm going to start with a simple goal of I'm going to create 1 listing a day for the next week. Then the week after that, I'm going to create 2 listings every single day, no matter what, for that following week. And then the week after that, 3 listings a day. So you gradually work yourself up to the place where you want to be, which is creating the 5 listings every single day. Creating 1 listing a day is something, if you feel like that's easily attainable, it's easily something I can do, and I'm not going to overly stress myself out, then you're going to push yourself the next week to add 1 more to it. So that's sort of a mini habit that you're going to start off small, something you're building the routine of just getting in the habit of creating a listing every single day, no matter what. And then ultimately you will get to the place where you're creating 5 listings every single day, no matter what. But you got to build the habit of just creating listings. And that's the thing you don't have. An example of going for a walk. Maybe going for a walk, you want to start off with something simple. Your goal may be, I want to walk 1 mile every single day, or maybe I want to walk 2 miles every single day. So maybe 30 minutes or 35 minutes or whatever it takes you to walk 2 miles. So you start off with, maybe you just start off with something simple, like I'm going to walk for 10 minutes every single day, no matter what, or 5 minutes. And you gradually go from 5 minutes, then maybe a week later, you go to 10 minutes, or you go 2 weeks later, go to 10 minutes, and then 2 weeks later, go to 15 minutes. And you gradually get to the place where you're creating this routine and this habit of walking, and you're now up to your 35-minute goal, whatever that goal is. So a mini habit or mini goal, that's what some of your activities that are on this brain dump may convert to. And if listing is one of those things you feel like you should or want, that's probably where this mini habit or mini goal may be an opportunity for you to convert that into that activity. The next is habit stacking. Habit stacking is sort of thinking of things in sequential order, logical sequential order, or a routine or a rhythm. So when you think about like creating a listing, there's components to creating a listing, and there's a routine to that. So depending on the platform which you sell on, sometimes they're asking for the picture first, sometimes they're asking for the title first. So there's a routine to that. And you have to already have that information in order for you to speed up the creation of listings. For those of you that are struggling and it's taking you like an hour to create 1 listing, look at what your routine is around creating listings and see what you can do to improve it or streamline it. Maybe, just maybe, you can go through and you can do the keyword research when you acquire the item. Maybe you can take the pictures or clean it up as soon as you get it, and you take the pictures of the item so that you already have those pictures ready to go, or you already grab pictures that you found that you're going to use. Because again, if you take pictures of the item in the store, you can take the pictures right then and You can clean the background right then, buying the item while it's still in your cart, like taking the picture right then. So doing things that are going to help that process, because a listing is comprised of a title, a description, it's a price, a images, how am I going to ship it? So all of those things make up a listing, and any policies that you have, returning policies, blah, blah, blah. So all of that is part of creating a listing. What category is it going to go in based on the platform that you're selling it on? If there's something you can do to improve that routine, to make it go faster, reorganize what you're doing, or put things in logical sequential order so that that way your listing effort is much faster than 1 hour. Maybe you have a goal of let's get it down to 45 minutes, then let's get it down to 30 minutes, then let's get it down to 20 minutes, then let's get it down to 15 minutes, let's get it down to 10 minutes, and now we're creating 6-minute listings. Or maybe it's such a struggle that you just need to buy some software and you use the software to help expedite your entering of information. But again, the software is going to ask for some things in a sort of a sequential or logical order. So you want to extract that information and have it available so you're not hunting and picking when you're about to work with the software. Okay. So if your platform is asking for pictures, take your pictures as soon as you acquire the inventory and or as soon as you get home. Put your inventory in a specific place so you can find it. If you have to clean it up like you're doing thrifting or books, clean it up before you take the pictures, but clean it up immediately so when you're sitting down in that time block or that window in which you're going to be doing listings, you already have the pictures. Be thinking about your keywords and your titles and your descriptions as you're acquiring this inventory and what category you might list it in on your preferred selling platform. What category am I? This goes into this category. And you'll learn some of these things over time as you continue to be consistent in your business, and it will become second nature. Also, know how you're going to ship it. Before I acquire inventory, I always know how I'm going to ship it. What's my method of shipping? Am I going to put this in a flat rate box? Am I going to ship this UPS? Am I going to ship this FedEx? What's my estimated shipping? Because after a while, you begin to learn what the prices are. This is going to cost me roughly $10 to ship. This is going to cost me roughly $12. Or you learn what the platform sort of charges for shipping or selling something, shipping something out to the customer, so that you have that awareness of what that is. Okay. So then the next thing is, time blocks. So having a dedicated window in which you're actually going through the process of committing time to a specific activity or action. So I use the action of listing. You may want to set up a time block for that. Setting up a time block just to do listings could look like, every day at 1:00, I create listings. Every day at 2:00, I do shipments or I handle shipments. If you're handling the inventory yourself, or you go check your shipments, if you're doing online, like if there's an integration and somebody else is shipping your stuff off. So again, setting up a dedicated time in which you do this on your schedule. As you build out this template, you will find maybe you have a time block for sourcing and a time block for shipping and a time block for product research and a time block for creating listings and a time block for administrative tasks and a time block for learning something new. So again, setting those time blocks in which you do those activities, you just need to organize them in a way that it flows. For me, it makes more sense for me to start with, if I'm going to begin this journey, I'm going to do product research first and sourcing second. I need to do some research on the niches and the keywords that are associated with it and what are people looking for before I start buying products. Okay, so I do those in that order every single time. Versus when I'm getting ready to create listings, like there's subroutines that I've established. I already have the pictures. I already know what the title is. I already know what the cost is for shipping. So those places in the creation of the listing, depending on the platform, go much faster for me. And also the description, like I can extract and save that information off so that I can get my listing time down, or I can use listing software to help me versus spending an hour. So again, setting aside dedicated time, some of your routines or some of the things that will be on your 3-column list will become part of a time block, or it could become part of a to-do or checklist. Some people prefer to-do list instead of having a dedicated time. So maybe it's something that I to do in the mornings, or something that I to do in the afternoons, or something that I to do in the evening. So I create listings in the evenings, and I check for shipments in the evenings. And those are the two things that I do. And I do this in the morning. Now, I am specifically talking about the business as I'm talking about these things. But the reality is, you don't run your business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You run, although we're in Q4, so it might feel like it, but you don't. You're also living your life. Like, you're probably planning for Thanksgiving, and you probably have family members coming in, and all of these things. You got to figure out what you're going to get your grandpa for Christmas. Like, all of these things are happening. So your real life needs to be incorporated into this template in some kind of way. And that's why we talk about the things that we already do. When you talk about the things that you already do, it should encompass the things that are part of your regular everyday living, if that makes sense. So you're not just building a schedule based off of your business, you're building a schedule that incorporates your life and your business, so that hopefully as often as possible, the two don't bleed into each other. The two get their own separate committed time. So, if you work your business in the morning from 8 until, maybe there's a routine where you get the kids out the door from 6 to 8, and then from maybe 8 to 12, you work your business. And then from 12 to, till you go to bed at 11 o'clock, it's all about your family, and the rest of your day is the other stuff that you have to manage and do. So that you have this dedicated window of, I work my business every day, Monday through Friday, or Monday through Saturday, from 8 to 12 or 8 to 1, or whatever it happens to be. So that's what you're going to do. So figure out if there's a time block that works for you, or if a checklist works for you. And then as you're establishing these routines, or you're trying to work to figure out, what does this template look like? And this one will be a routine, and this one will be a habit tracking activity, and this will be a to-do list. Which one of those are going to be SMART goals that you will establish? SMART goals are something that is specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic or relative, and time-bound or timely. So being specific is going to help you. An example of that is, we go back to the creating of the listings. Maybe your goal is at the end of the week that I need to create, no matter what, I need to make sure I have 200 new listings every single week. So then I have to take that 200 and divide it by the number of days in which I am working in the week. So if I'm working 5 days in the week, I divide that 200 by 5, so I know how many listings I need to create each day. If I am working 6 days a week, I divide that by, again, 6, and I know how many I need to create every single day. So that is, at the end of the week, I know whether or not I did or did not create 200 listings. If you have a goal of walking, 5 miles every single week, so again, you can track that every single day so that you get to your ultimate goal of 5 miles at the end of the week. So those are specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic or relative, based on what the goal is, and time-bound or timely. Figure out which one of these things that are on your 3-column list, things that you already do, things that you need or want to do, things that you need or must do, things that you should or want to do. Which one of these are tied to SMART goals? Now, there are probably many other goals, and all of those many other goals could be part of this as well. So you can go and look and see, there's on this document that you downloaded, there's a whole bunch of defined goals. Each one of these could be their own defined goal, but I digress. These are probably the main 5 that are part of this journey. So once you have built this template, you've kind of gone through and figure out which ones are going to be my SMART goals, which ones are going to be my this kind of goal, and which ones are going to be my that kind of goal. And you've incorporated your life, including, like for me, I include stuff like, when am I doing meal planning and meal prepping? When am I cooking? When am I going out to do product research? When am I listing? When am I scheduling or planning for my VA's work? When am I, scheduling doctor's appointments? Like, all of these things that have to happen that are regular parts of your life. So you're going to build out this template, and you're going to test drive the template for about 2 to 3 weeks. Test driving the template means taking, again, all of those pieces from the brain dump and putting them into columns, where a column says Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And you can go down the column, and maybe on the far right hand side under column A of your spreadsheet, you have times. So maybe you get up every day at 6 o'clock. So you can start with 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. And then what am I doing at 6? What am I doing at 7? What am I doing at 8? What am I doing at 9? And it could be something that's business, or it could be something that's personal and life related, either one. If you don't like dedicated time or committed time block, then you can choose, like, these are the things that I do in the morning. These are the 10 things I do in the morning. These are the 10 things I do in the afternoon. And here's the 10 things I do in the evening, no matter what, on a regular basis. So go through and build out that template so you have a guide for your schedule for the week. And the next thing is to take that template and begin the process of creating your actual schedule. Now, as you are building out your actual schedule, you're going to, where you have a generic statement of create listings, we're going to say, now we're going to clone that entire schedule and say, okay, in the create listings, what listings am I actually creating? Am I creating my Black Friday listings this week? Am I creating my Christmas listings? Am I creating my New Year's listings this week? Am I creating my bundles that I'm going to be offering for year-end promotions? Like, what listing am I creating in that block? It says I'm creating listings. What is the listing I'm creating? Sourcing. Like, in this time block, it says I'm sourcing. So what am I sourcing, or where am I sourcing? So where am I sourcing? Like, maybe Monday and Wednesday I source from Walmart, and Tuesday and Thursday I source from my wholesale supplier online. So again, what am I sourcing? Who am I sourcing from? Where am I sourcing? So Monday and Wednesday is Walmart, and Tuesday and Thursday is, I don't know, name a wholesale supplier. I'm trying to think of one. Dollar Days or somebody. SMG. Yeah, I think it's for SMG. Yeah. So one of those wholesale suppliers that you use, or, drop shippers or whatever. So if I'm doing print on demand, if I say that I am creating products for my print on demand, I got to do some product research first. So product research, it says I'm doing product research on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm doing it at 2 o'clock. So the question is, now that I'm building the actual schedule, what am I doing product research on? I'm doing product research on Tuesday for print on demand products. I'm doing product research on Thursday for, and I can say print on demand product. I can nail that down or drill that down even more, saying print on demand products for Christmas, print on demand products for New Year's, print on demand products for, and I can be more specific so I can continue that product research. Same thing for Thursday. So if I say I'm doing drop shipping, what am I drop shipping for? So what is it that I'm doing product research for drop shipping? It's a specific niche. So maybe I'm doing specific office supplies, or I'm doing more planners, whatever that happens to be. So those are the things you're going to get very, very specific when you create the what schedule. And that's the third part of this journey. So in that what schedule, we're also going to be scanning our monthly plan for next week, because we do have 2 days in next week. We have Sunday, which is tomorrow, and we have Monday, which is the 31st, Halloween. So what were my goals for the month of October? And I got 2 days to complete or accomplish them. I need to be thinking about, what am I going to do on the 30th and the 31st, or even today, the 29th? What am I going to do in these 3 days that's going to help me knock more things off of my monthly planning goals? And in the month planning, we establish anywhere from 20 to 25 goals for the entire month. So that's the objective, is to knock some things off the list. What are the priorities for next week? So next week, again, is a split week, Sunday and Monday, or October, and then the rest of the month is November, or the rest of the week is November. So what are my priorities? What are the top things that I need to do? And it doesn't always have to just be your business. Again, personal things. Maybe because you have family coming in from out of town for Thanksgiving, this might be an opportunity to gradually prepare for their arrival. Like, start putting together your game plan for what are you going to be cooking for Thanksgiving, figuring out how many people are actually coming, figuring out housing arrangements, who's going to sleep where, and what sofa sleepers available, and does the air mattress still work? Like, all of that stuff that is specific to Thanksgiving or a family coming to visit. And who is not willing to take a COVID test, or who cares about COVID anymore. So again, all of that stuff matters. And you have to figure that out, okay? So, what are your priorities for next week? They, again, don't always have to be business related, they can be personal, so that, again, you're working to reduce the amount of stress that you will have in your life next week and potentially in the future. If you do that next week, that's one less thing that you're going to be stressed out 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, and now you're the week of Thanksgiving and you're pulling out your hair because you didn't think about it in advance. If you think about it in advance, it's one less thing to stress out about. And you're not reacting to your life. You're being prepared and you're increasing your awareness of what's about to happen in your life. Okay. Sometimes family coming in from out of town can be stressful. We already know that. So the other thing is, what are the habits that you're working to build? So next week is the beginning of a new month. So it's an opportunity for you to establish new habits for the new month. So what are those habits you want to start thinking about that you feel like I need to start doing these things more consistently? And I want to track the activity of these things for the next 30 days. What are they? So as you're looking at your need to do, want to do, should do, all of that stuff, figure out which one of those are habits that you want to track in your habit tracker that's also in your My eCom planner, and which ones are really going to be the priority, the big dog priorities for next week. Again, personal and business. There should be a mix in that weekly priority. It shouldn't just be all business. And then as you're going through that and you fill that in, and you're building in the schedule of all the actual, the what's and the where's and the who's, then you're at a place where you've actually built out your schedule and you have your schedule ready to go, so that when you do your daily ecom planning checklist, it reduces the amount of time that you have to spend in your daily ecom planning checklist activities, because you've already done your weekly planning and you have an idea of what the actual activity is for each one of your days next week. So then you can just eyeball the list, make adjustments as you go along where you need to, and check things off as you make progress. So that's ultimately the goal. So I hope this information is helpful. I hope you use this on your e-commerce journey. I hope that you share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about the daily ecom planning checklist, and also the monthly and the weekly. So the monthly is tomorrow. And yes, our goal is to be on time tomorrow. Today was just not the day. And we're gonna have a segment on entrepreneur challenges, because this was a crazy week for me, and that's okay. God is good. So with that, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business in the midst of it all. If that's you, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com and clicking on free resources and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. You can use all the stuff that I talked about today in your My eCom planner. So you can go grab the 2023 eCom planner by going to myecomplanner.com right now to grab your planner. And with that, I hope you have an amazingly blessed, highly productive, and extremely focused and profitable day. We are still live on Clubhouse. So if you want to jump in over there and ask any questions, feel free to do so. I will be on there for just a few more minutes, and you can ask your questions. With that, we're going to say goodbye for now. Bye, y'all.